Shares of Boeing continuing to plunge on pace for its worst month ever, with the company now seeking billions in aid. Our Phil LeBeau has the latest on the company. Phil.
Mike, a fair number of questions about exactly what Boeing is asking from the federal government. And let me give you a rundown in terms of where things stood at the end of yesterday. But these are fluid conversations in Washington. At least $60 billion in aid. Now, that would not all go strictly to Boeing and be Boeing's alone. It basically is Boeing's request for itself as well as the entire aviation industry, all of its suppliers. And this is separate from the airline request. Remember, the airlines are asking for anywhere between $50 and $58 billion. Boeing has drawn down the $13.8 billion term loan that they took out just a month ago. So that gives you some indication of how quickly this company is burning through its cash. And as we've talked with analysts throughout the day, they've pointed out it's not the money that they're burning through right now. It's what they might burn through over the next couple of months, especially as they see airlines either deferring deliveries or just simply saying, no, we don't want a delivery at all. By the way, Boeing also has access to other credit lines. And as you mentioned, Mike, Boeing is on pace right now for its worst month ever, down more than 65% this month. But again, this is a fluid situation in Washington in terms of the discussions between Boeing and the people on Capitol Hill, as well as the Trump administration.
Phil, it feels like the moment you talked to Gary Kelly, where was that? Was that in D.C. About a week or two ago?
A week ago.
And he said it had a 9/11 feel. Sounded jarring at the moment. Ended up on the front page of the Times the next morning. Now you have executives like JetBlue saying the quote writing is on the wall that travel will not return soon. So this came into view really quickly.
The letter from Robin Hayes today spelled it out clearly, Carl. On an average day in March, let's say last year, they were bringing in $22 million. The average so far every day this month, less than $4 million. The cancellations are soaring. People are not flying. Something has to be done to help the airline industry one way or the other, or else you're going to see these guys quickly slide closer and closer towards bankruptcy.
Phil,
hey,
don't
Phil,
go too far.
It's funny.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
It's actually me, Carl.
David.
Phil, during the financial crisis, I ended up focusing a lot of my time on AIG, which became, obviously, as we know, crucially important. And the government did eventually come to its aid after it lost about $100 billion in a quarter. It seems in some ways similar to the situation that Boeing finds itself in right now. I don't know how quickly this is going to move. I mean, timing would seem to be of the essence. You have indicated that. Do you have any sense in terms of both management and government, in terms of how focused they are in getting something done near term?
Yes. From my discussions with executives at Boeing, they want it done very quickly. Not simply because, people say, well, of course they want it done quickly. Every company wants their money. That's not the situation here. This is a case where they are burning through cash, not only right now, but when you look out over the next couple of months, they're going to be burning through a lot of cash. So then the question becomes, they've already committed, David, to keeping the 10,000 workers at Renton plant where they build the 737 MAX. They committed when they shut down production to continue paying them. Right. They'll find other work within the company. They'll make sure that those people are not laid off. Well, now you're getting to the point where Boeing is going to say, look, we have a choice to make here. Do we continue paying these people or do we lay them off? And as you were talking with Jim earlier today, I mean, they are the largest employer in terms of, companies in this country. And so you look at the prospect here, if you're Boeing, of at some point, very quickly, the call is going to have to be made. Either we get this aid lined up, or we're going to have to start making some choices that nobody's going to want to see, starting with layoffs. And then also the conversation will shift towards, does Boeing start considering things like a bankruptcy?